All right, Lemonheads, what's up? It's episode 192. I am producer Fungus, joined by my boy Larry Fresh, my guy Tanar Davis, and today's special guest, Andrea Ocampo. How are you, Andrea?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, thank you for joining us. Before we get
We're
started,
doing two shows in a week now. That's what we're doing.
yeah,
Oh,
we're
Two
doing
shows in a week.
two a week, bro.
minimum.
2 a
My
week,
God.
yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah.
We
Hey,
might do
y'all gotta
a.
you gotta send me another. I need another check in the mail right now, bro. Like, y'all gotta start paying me for this.
It's already on the way, bro. But USPS is a little delayed, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right, before we get started, Edwin, go ahead
Yes, sir.
and do it for the community, baby.
Yes, sir. Keeping up with the theme that we've been doing for the last few weeks, that we started actually last week in real detail. But again, reminding everybody, stay safe, stay wash your hands, keep your social distancing, do everything you can so that we can get through this as quickly as possible, as safe as possible. But in that, we also got to remind ourselves that there's a lot of people struggling, there's a lot of people that need help. So we want to do our little part and help out as much as we can by shouting out some local businesses and reminding people that there's still ways to do things and get things, and there's still some really good people doing some really good things out there, like my boy Gio. So just to remind you, oh sorry, my boy Gio Giovanni Valdez. He's an insurance agent with Global Insurance Agency in Miami Lakes. He started a community fundraiser in partnership with his brother Jason and his wife Colette. Their mission is to help give back to the community during this crisis. A simple idea of wanting to feed the frontline workers and support small businesses has turned into a movement. If you checked out local news, ABC, CBS has even done a whole story on them. They've been delivering meals, buying meals from local places and delivering it to frontline workers and everything. So through the support of their community on their GoFundMe page, they've actually been able to raise. Their original goal, I believe, was $2,500 that they wanted to raise, and they've already exceeded that. They did it in 5 days.
Oh,
That's how
wow.
much support they've been getting from everybody and everything. So
That's awesome.
and they've been able to deliver over 200 meals to healthcare heroes across South Florida region. And they're not close to stopping yet. They did another 2 deliveries this week since our last show, and they hope to continue their hashtag fueling the frontline for weeks to come. So if you want to help out and you want to participate, they're taking donations. If you have a local business and you want to work in partnership with them, hit them up. They have an Instagram right now dedicated just for this. It's at fueling the frontline. So go there, contribute. We'll also post a hashtag to their GoFundMe, or the link to the GoFundMe at the end of the show. We'll post it up in the chat in the comments, or just hit us up at any time and we'll share that.
All right, man.
Go.
Yeah, make sure everybody get out there and support your local community, wherever that is. If you're watching from afar, go out and support your community regardless. All right.
Yeah,
So
man. And
yeah.
Gio's a good dude. He's been on.
Mhm.
He's actually been on the show. He's a friend of ours. He's somebody that we know, and I know for a fact how hard he works. He was my neighbor down here where I live, so for a good while that's how we became friends. So it's really it's really cool to see what he's doing. And there's a lot of other little stories like that of people doing these types
Yeah.
of things.
Mhm.
So if you see something like that, share it. Tell people about it. Just spread some good news, man. It's a weird time. We've been talking about it for weeks. We're all quarantined still. I haven't seen TD's face in so long in person, but at least I can see him here, and it'd be nice to get back to those good old days. But we'll get there soon. So as long as we work together and stay positive, things will get better.
Exactly.
Yes,
So-
sir. Yes, sir.
So today we're joined by Andrea Ocampo. Andrea, how have you experienced all this so far? Just to not stray away from the pandemic talk too quickly. What have you noticed as far as people pulling together, anything like that?
Well, I mean, it's great to see Miami and overall South Florida pulling together. Obviously, it's wonderful during these times. I mean, I'm an optimist, so I always try to see the silver lining in everything. That's usually what I really focus my energy on. So I love seeing everybody coming together, and just even the cheers from the balconies. I actually get emotional when I hear it, just because it's just a testament as to where we are and how we're all trying to get through this together. It is very challenging, right? Although I'm optimistic, there are moments where, I mean, business is a little slower than usual. And from a business perspective, our company, we're really trying to support our clients the best that we can. And obviously we've had to pivot drastically, and that has affected our business. And I think at this point, it's a mind game. This is all in the mind now, right?
Yeah.
I'm an only child. You know, I've always been a loner, so quarantine has kind of always been my lifestyle. But at this point, I'm missing, you know, the simplest things like hugging my friends, just going out, you know, whenever we want. That's not how it is anymore. So those little things that we used to take for granted, it's affecting me. But I think it's on the mind. Now we have to get through this from the inside out.
Definitely.
That's
So
true.
I think in the third quarter, you know, the president got on today and has a 3-phase way to get America going again. So hopefully we're at the last quarter or the third quarter of this whole thing. So I hope by June we have some type of normalcy when it comes to our everyday life. But yeah, a lot of people took a hit, and in the sports world too. In sports world, we thought that was untouchable. Yeah, it was touched.
Yeah, that's the realest thing, man. The fact that we ain't got no sports like that, that's like the most Walking Dead thing that has happened to me. I mean, I don't know. That's where it feels like, whoa, this is serious, man. You know, like that's the one that's gotten to me. But it's true what you were saying, Andrea, about like this pandemic and being locked up, man. I didn't say this on the show on Tuesday. I forgot, but I told Gus about this. But yo, this quarantine affects different people different ways, man. And Sunday night, there was a guy in my building who lost his shit from quarantine at like 1 a.m. and apparently took off his pants, was like with just a t-shirt looking like Winnie the Pooh running around like the 4th floor of my building.
I don't
and
blame
like
him.
telling people to call the cops. I swear to God,
Don't
dude,
blame that on
this is what
quarantine.
happened.
I think that's drugs.
Well, think about it. If you did stuff like that and now you're locked up, you're doing more stuff like that. So then you get things like this.
Yeah.
And last I saw was homeboy was running down Biscayne at 1:30 in the morning with no pants on, just going to like telling people his shadow was chasing him and shit. So I don't know. It was really crazy.
We all have very different coping mechanisms.
that's true. That's true.
Yes. Thankfully, none of us have
That's
lost.
actually a Tuesday for Miami police. That's like a Tuesday, a regular Tuesday.
I wonder if those kind of weird calls have gone up.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure people are losing their minds.
So
ever.
I'm lucky to be able to be on both sides because obviously, but a lot of people know I am a police officer in Georgia, and I stay in contact with the guys down there that are telling me that it's like Walking Dead. People are doing the most weirdest things, and they're trying to figure out, is it quarantine, is it drugs, or is it both? But here in Miami, that's like a normal thing. You know, moment of salt, the bath salts, the guy who was eating people's skin and stuff. So, yeah.
He even seasoned it.
That's definitely that's messed up.
That's Miami, bro. Miami's ridiculous.
No, really.
Yeah. Florida man spends time in Miami too. It happens.
But I'll tell you, man, but my homeboy, my neighbor here, he's taking the cake so far for weirdest thing I've seen during the quarantine. I mean, and this is something I'm standing outside my door at like 1:30 in the morning, like going, what the hell is going on? Looking down and seeing him run with a stick going, my child, don't you call the police. Like straight up Winnie the Pooh. No pants on, just a t-shirt.
Wow.
That's it.
Trying to get that honey.
Oof, man. It's hard times, man. Hard times for people. But hopefully you guys don't go through none of that or have to see that, you know. But it is what it is. Like you said, it's a Tuesday in Miami. So
that's true.
If that's the worst, I'll take it, man. If that's the worst that happens, I'll take it for now. But it's definitely here, so.
And Andrea, you're a South Florida native. You've been here the majority of your life.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So I'm sure you've seen a lot of weird things here in South Florida. But I'd like to say that you're like our Renaissance woman because you're everywhere. Like we've seen you everywhere.
Well, thank you guys for saying that. I have been everywhere actually.
Yeah.
The trajectory of my career and everything that I've done has been it's a lot. My parents don't know what to do with me.
Yep, and it's funny because I told.
So tell the audience. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Titi. Go ahead.
No, I was going to tell her this to tell the audience exactly what you're doing with your career and give them an insight of who you are and your page.
So pretty much my background is in broadcast journalism. I went to college for broadcasting. I started as a Miami Dolphins cheerleader when I was 19, and I was interning at NBC6. I was with the Miami Dolphins for 3 seasons, and since I was bilingual, The team gave me a lot of opportunities to represent their team outside of the cheerleading aspect. So I did a lot of spokesperson work for them. So that really opened the door to the world of sports. I always knew that I wanted to do sports more or less, and I was doing a lot of entertainment. And one thing just led to another, and I worked for free for the longest time as an entertainment reporter. And the grind, it's like that's what you do. And I was doing that for many years until I got an opportunity with the Florida Panthers, our hockey team down here. Mm-hmm. So I joined the team as their arena host, and I was with the team for 4 seasons. And in my 4th season, I became their Hispanic marketing director. I've always had a love for marketing and branding. And I knew even before social media became like a thing, I knew that your one-on-one interaction with fans was really important. Your branding was going to be huge if you wanted to have longevity in this industry, the TV industry. Yeah. So little by little, we started putting all the pieces together of the puzzle. And then I started growing my brand within that world. And I worked for, I also did the same thing for FAU Owls football. And then little by little, a lot of outlets started calling me to do, their spokesperson and field reporting work. And then I was doing that for quite some time. And then the WWE came, and then I traveled the world with them, became a ring announcer, backstage reporter for Raw, NXT, SmackDown. My parents were like, "What are you doing?"
Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going.
But, at the time, I always knew that social media marketing was very important. I was growing my brand. I wrote an Amazon bestseller about leadership and women in the business.
Wow.
So at the same time, because in this world, you can't just be linear. I always knew that if you want to have a trajectory and a successful one, you always needed to have your hands in different things. And that's what I did. And then after the WWE, I did motorsports for a year. And then after that, I put all of my knowledge to work, and I launched my marketing and brand agency, Throne Media. That's
what's up, yo.
Damn.
What's so funny about that? Because a lot of young women are not going to understand the grind of trying to be someone like you. They think it happens overnight. And when you sit down and realistically, because when I was at NFL Network, there was a lot of, freelance workers that are at the edit bays or working in features who are trying to branch off and try to work for Fox, try to work for, it was another company in LA that they were trying to work for, just to get their opportunity to be in front of a camera. Now understand you had to do the grind exactly on what you did. And that's pretty incredible. It's really incredible.
But you know what it was too? Social media when I started wasn't a thing. So I think people just get very wrapped up in the fact that you post a picture right now, you get the attention, you do certain things, and you get some type of notoriety. I didn't have that. I needed to have a body of work even before I got that, that opportunity. So it's a work ethic that I've always brought to the table. And when I do my lectures and speeches and when I teach leadership, I ingrain this, because what happens when social media dies or when it disconnects or whatever? Everybody loses their mind or loses their career, and you're not going to be an Instagram model anymore. And I'm very bold and I'm very open about this subject. You need to grind, and your work ethic needs to speak for yourself no matter what.
I mean, they're already talking about not showing how many likes you have and all that stuff.
Good, absolutely. So, that word's not real. It's not real. It's just a tool. It's a tool.
Yeah, they already did it. My page doesn't show my likes. Like, I can't see anybody likes anymore. It just tells me the person. I don't care with it. I can care less if somebody likes my work. The true fans will actually comment and support.
Of course, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah. So what's next for you? What's next for you, Andrea? Like, you've done all this stuff. I'm sure you still have goals that you want to meet.
Oh yeah, I haven't even skimmed the surface. I mean, I think right now I have my hands in several things. My priority is Throne Media. I have a business partner. Her name is Lizzie Molina. Her background is also in PR and sports. We have 2 departments within the marketing agency. We work with small businesses, and then we work with athletes, just because my background is in sports and her background is in sports. And obviously right now, the fact that you guys have such a huge and vast knowledge of sports, if you want to build your brand, now I think the stakes are higher, even if you are an athlete. And we help them create that that digital ecosystem with Instagram, if they want to be able to sell apparel, if they really want to grow to be an actual brand. Because remember, their career on the field and on the court is not a forever thing. So we give them the tools and the resources to make that happen.
Yeah.
Take
What
notes,
about
TD.
what about
Take
Magic
notes,
City
TD.
Casino? What about Magic City Casino highlight players? You know, I may need something like I'm an athlete too.
Absolutely. Yes. I think if any athlete has a story and that really wants to continue. I mean, the fact that you have your hands in many things, you understand the grind and how it is, the importance of diversifying. So yes, TD.
So let me ask you.
Man, no, for real.
Let me ask you. You seem to be like the role model for this question I'm about to ask. Dolphins cheerleaders, they always seem to move on to bigger and better things and just do crazy big things. Like your friend MJ Acosta now is working for the NFL Network, and we see her everywhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's been on our show a couple of times. She's a friend of the show. But what is it about the Dolphins cheerleader organization? Do they just do a good job of attracting these girls that are more prone to do this, or is it a character building thing that happens while you're a cheerleader?
I love the fact that you brought that up, because that organization, I really give them the credit to help me mold the professional woman that I became to be, just because at the time I was 19, right? When I joined the organization, and they're very militant and they groom you to be certain types of people. Obviously, it's at the core of who you are. I mean, who are you when you are giving all of these opportunities? But the way they choose the people that they work with the organization. And for me, the organization helped me, and they groomed me to help me see my opportunities and the work ethic. And I was really lucky at such a young age to be exposed to that, but I took advantage. So they give you the tools. It's up to you to see what you're going to do with it. So I definitely give them props, because they have, that there's a standard that you need to meet with them. And if you start early with them, I think it's only the beginning.
That's awesome. What's like an experience that comes to mind that most reflects upon what you're doing today?
It was so cool, and it was such a really amazing moment for me. I was able to, they gave me the opportunity to host the Miami Dolphins cheerleader auditions last year. And the fact that my career came completely full circle, I was a judge and I actually hosted the auditions. It was very reminiscent. I knew exactly what the girls were going through. I knew how emotional that experience is as a professional, as a dancer, and with that organization. And I was able to, give my words of encouragement and at the same time help the organization pick their next girls. So for me, that was a huge opportunity, and it was special. I was like, I was them 100 years ago.
Yeah, that's got to be pretty cool. I don't know if Tenard, I don't know if you've ever coached football. I think you have coached football, have you, Tenard?
Yeah, I coach high school football.
Right. So
it's a different. It's a different. Yeah, it's a difference when you are behind the camera now compared to being in front of the camera. If you want to kind of analogize it, being on the football field is different when you're actually a coach now, trying to explain to the kids on how to play the game. So I can agree to her experience about being a judge and doing what she's doing. Is like, it's kind of weird seeing yourself behind the seats and trying to convince these girls on how you made it.
Exactly. It's an honor. You have an opportunity to help these people achieve their dreams and give them the tools that they need to do so.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a question. Can I get one in? I'm sorry. I know I'm the guy with the bad connection over here. So you did some work in WWE, and you mentioned it earlier. I know sometimes they actually put you in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever train or do any of that stuff? You ever
I am proud to say, yes, I'm proud to say that I did go through a couple of bumping classes. It was mandatory just because, obviously, if you are a fan or if you've seen it, a lot of the times the interviewers, we are in the way of a lot of action. So if you don't know how to fall, whether you're in heels or whatnot, actually they don't put you in heels. That's another story, but you need to know how to fall if you're in heels or if you're falling out of the ring. It was very painful because obviously I'm not a wrestler. But yeah, that was quite the experience. But overall, working for that organization, the WWE, was quite the adventure.
Very cool. I want to get throw some elbows or jump off the top rope or something.
Oh my
That'd
God!
be cool.
Yeah, I have tremendous respect for those athletes.
Yeah. Who sticks out to you? Which wrestler was around? Who was big back then?
I mean, was really interesting. I mean, I never really had a favorite because they all became my friends, right? We traveled the world together, and you get to know them on such a different level. Everybody just has such a bigger than life personality. Everybody's work ethic is incredible, and I think what's special now is when because you start at the PC, the performance center, the athletes, the wrestlers, the superstars that started there with me are the big guys now. So for me to see their growth and see that they're actual superstars and see them on their first day of, them wanting to become a wrestler, I feel like a proud mom, because now that I'm not attached to organization anymore. I just
watch your baby grow up.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw them when they were unsure. I saw them when they were asking questions and when they were taking chances and when they were just being groomed to be who they are. So I do feel like a proud mom.
That's cool. Can you give us a little behind the scenes? How does that all happen for a wrestler? Like, I know a lot of times guys change their names and they.
Oh yeah, we all have to change their names. Like even I had to change my name. My name, my real name, right, is Andrea Ocampo. I had to change my last name to. They gave me an option, so I changed my last name to DeMarco. So if you Google me, you'll find me under Andrea DeMarco, and that's where all my my interviews and all that stuff. So that was kind of
right. So they legally change your name? They legally change it, or just like for that?
It's just for that. It's like your stage name. So they own the rights.
Okay, I was like, what?
Yeah, they own the rights to obviously, your likeliness and your images and stuff like that. So they can't own your actual, name. So my name was Andrea DeMarco.
That's interesting.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, there's that organization. I mean, that's like I said, it was quite the experience, and I was very lucky that I did go through it, and I never thought that I would have such an experience like that.
Did you try to get tapped for XFL? Did you try to get in that arena? No.
No, when that happened, I was already in my mind, like, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to grow my brand. I want to own businesses. Being in that world was going to be on my terms, and I was done. I've just been doing this for quite some time, Yeah. And
go ahead, girl.
I say it loud and proud. You get to a point in this industry where it's a lot of fun, but then you have to think a bigger vision and long term. And I had so much experience, and I no longer wanted to work with people that didn't like or didn't respect. And it was my turn to build, and I have, and anybody can do that. And I teach people how to do that.
Now take notes, Gus. Take notes.
I respect that.
A master class.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get my notebook.
Hearing that. It's pretty cool hearing that because it's a lot of women that would love to be attached to a big brand than they can build themselves.
Yeah.
And you're young. You're attractive, and you have a great smile. And you know how to talk. So real talk. So basically, how important is branching off compared to sticking with another brand.
Oh, 100%.
And you can eventually, if you do it long enough, you can become a respectable brand out there and have your own clientele like you're doing right now.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm joking saying, go ahead, girl. But I really respect that. That's pretty.
I appreciate. I mean, like at the end of the day, if I've been able to help huge organizations become multi-million-dollar entities, and my own little respect, everybody. Nobody's an island. If I'm able to do that, I always thought there's no way I can't do that for myself, right? But I work with the Miami Dolphins, right? I work with a lot of organizations where I can get the knowledge, the experience, my portfolio, so I could actually be taken serious, make a lot of mistakes because I don't like to be like, oh, this is so easy and this is perfect, and
of course not,
and filters and look at me and I'm on TV. No, it doesn't work that way, right? It's a lot of ups and downs, and it's a lot of trial and error, but it's just knowing what you want. And especially now with social media, anybody can do it.
That's true. That's a good and a bad thing, right?
Yes, it is.
So how do you like distinguish yourself amongst all these people that are trying to make a name for themselves?
Well, I think I get that question all the time. I think your body of work is incredibly important. I think now the stakes are higher with anybody who's out there. So if you want to do something or execute anything, your audience or whoever you want to, talk to, they're going to see if you're legit or not. They're going to know within the first 5 minutes if you're just a typical.
Not even that, like 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Don't get 5 minutes for people these days.
Because you know what? Right now, we're being fed the same thing. Everybody looks alike. Everybody says the same thing. You're being sold to. We're seeing men and women that are naked half the time. And right now, we're so gated. It's like now, at the end of the day.
Hey, I knew you was going to say that. Shut up.
Tanard. I pointed down at Tanard.
Is he naked? Does he have
his IG is IG is off the chain.
Because I work out a lot. So he's talking about I'm naked. Get out of here.
I'm with Gus on this one.
But listen, at the end of the day,
Andrea, I'm sorry.
At the end of the day, your body of work is just really important. And I think now your audience is a lot smarter and we get bored easily. So for me, I just really want to stay really authentic to what I bring to the table right now. It's teaching and empowering people to grow their business, their brand. And I just always want to offer value because that's going to help my business and my future goals, right? So with my business with Throne Media, we help athletes and people create their online business. We help them create their online series if they want to pitch it to Netflix, if they want to monetize it. So producing has been a huge part of my work right now. And like producer is really the next frontier for what I'm doing.
Nice. So what's a big project that you're working on now or something that excites you the most?
Well, right now, obviously with Throne Media, creating people's stories, their narratives, how can I bring this athlete to life? How's that going to stick? And I'm also working with the Fox News Network. I'm producing and hosting an environmental show called Earth. So I travel the world. Right now we're not traveling, but I produce a TV show and I write it out and I have a co-host. And that's really helping me produce and still be very attached to TV, right? Because obviously online it's where it's at, but in regards to programming and television and what's out there, that still keeps my roots very grounded.
I got a question. Wait. I saw your environmental on your Instagram there, and
you did your research.
I saw you were in Canada recently. Or at least you posted about it. And
yes.
As the Canadian resident Canadian expert of our podcast, what part of Canada were you in? Because I've been to Montreal and I'm the poutine king. That's what I've referred to myself as, and I freaking love it. It's awesome. So it was really cool to see that. I'm just curious what you thought about it.
Montreal. I was very, very cold. I was in Ottawa. I was in the
Ottawa?
I was in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't glamorous at all because our stories are, people that are saving the environment, that are doing their part. But yeah, it was very cold. It was very hard to. It was snowing, and I'm Floridian.
She was probably in Saskatchewan.
What is South Florida girl cold in Canada? What's going on?
I was in the CFL for a little bit, and we played in Saskatchewan. There's nothing there. Nothing.
Canadians are very nice, though.
Yeah, they are.
They are very nice. Mm-hmm. Well, what is it that they were doing in Canada though? Like trying to save what?
Well, the company that I did the segment for it was Husky. So they produce a lot of plastic, and they really focus on the circular economy and how they recycle their plastic to create, other products for other companies. And we got really in depth as to how they're doing their part. Because obviously,
cool.
A lot of people talk about the single-use plastic, like a plastic bottle, and we don't have to use it once. Yeah. So they have a whole system where they actually take that one bottle and they recycle it over and over again. That's the short.
The more you know.
The more you know. So for the entire story, go to earth.com, right? Earth with John Holden.
So all this stuff is on hold right now for you. How are you how are you coping? Like, what are you doing to? I know I saw on your Instagram you're asking people how they are taking the time to learn things or whatever. What are you doing?
I mean, I'm really trying to keep the conversation light but real. I mean, like I said, I'm very optimistic, but I don't want to be like, oh, the sky's blue and this is so great and let's be all productive, right?
Yeah.
There's times where I feel fantastic, and there's times where I just want to eat all the popcorn in my pantry, go to sleep, and cry. That's literally, there's days like that.
I'm an ice cream kind of guy.
You know, and I've had to honor that, right? I've had to honor how I felt. Within our company, we were in the midst of creating an e-course on marketing and branding. So we really had to, I mean, we're working behind the scenes, but specifically we're helping our clients not lose their mind. We put some on hold because people are scared, and we're really trying to maneuver their content strategy, where we're talking about, you know, now we're going to need a lot of companies to create content that's that brings confidence to their company. So that means confidence content, right? So we're cleaning X, Y, and Z, and we can service you. So we're really helping the clients shift their narrative to help their customers. And how are they going to do that? Online, you know, with their social media posts. How do they say this? How do they say that? So we're definitely helping our customers. I mean, personally, I've just been doing a lot of reading. I've been doing a whole lot of meditation, because right now it's a mind game. Everything that we're going through, like I said, a lot of people don't do well sitting still. I thought I was one of those, but now it's getting to me. So now I'm really just trying to take care of myself. So that means not eating all the chocolate in the microwave, right?
And I'm all about fitness, and I want to hear everybody's excuse on why they couldn't use this moment to take advantage of trying to get in shape, lose weight. And when don't hide behind the camera, bruh. No, don't hide behind the camera, because right now she's saying, like, a lot of people don't know what to do themselves right now, and this is the perfect time to take advantage of this 2 months we have off to find ourselves and find what can make us great again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I try to work out every single day, because it's personally what's helping me. You know, my clock is all messed up. I go to sleep at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
I know.
It feels like I have a night shift somewhere, and I just go to sleep at 4, and then I need to get tired. But I need to work out, or else I will leave here 10 pounds heavier, because we watch all these shows, which I have on Netflix, right? I've seen them all.
Yeah, watching.
You know, but I definitely been doing workouts on YouTube, and I go for walks around here, and I got my bands. I have my yoga mat right there. I'm trying.
I'm glad you're not one of those people who bought the mirror or the Peloton and just wasted that money and just using YouTube to lose weight. That YouTube is the best kept secret.
I know YouTube. I watch YouTube on my phone all the time. That's what I use.
That's true. You can watch it on YouTube right now.
And all that stuff. That's crazy. It kills me when I hear people do that.
YouTube is my best friend.
I've lost 10 pounds. What up? I lost 10 pounds.
Well, why doesn't TD believe you?
Because he's a hater, and that's just plain and simple.
No, I'm a realist.
And because I did it just by walking my dog 3 times a day. But
that's cool, bro.
Honestly, like, straight up, if there's one thing, like, I've worked night shifts before when I was in the Navy and everything, and that's when and this is what it feels like, how Andrea was saying. So I've been there where I eat just to kill time in the past.
You get bored.
You get bored.
We all do.
Eating,
it's human nature.
And I was scared of that going into this once this started. But I've honestly really, like, I cut out all soda. I've been eating regular portions. I'm not binge eating my snacks. I space it out. If I have a little snack, I don't pig out on anything. I don't eat out because I've been eating home. I really just, like, maybe once a week we might order something, like we were craving like Chipotle the other day. I was like, I'll have a little Chipotle, but that's the extent of it. And honestly, I've lost 10 pounds since this whole thing started. So I'm actually pretty proud. Maybe I'll start, doing some, I did yoga and like some Zumba thing, like the first week a couple times, and that was it. But I'll get into it. But like I said, I'm proud to report. And this, I've been drinking water all day, every day, man. That's the one thing that's
Let me check that receipt. That's not water. Let me check that receipt.
Bro, it's water, man. Oh, damn, I'm making a mess over here, but it's water. I swear to God.
I almost got him.
Look, it's
Yeah, and I've been
It's water.
cooking a lot.
You know, it's legit though, man. I've really been, you know, proud of that.
Yeah.
When you see me, I'm
proud of
gonna
you,
look
man.
good.
I'm proud of you.
I'm getting
I
ready
want
for
you to
that
extend your life.
triathlon. I'm getting ready for that
I don't know
triathlon I was
about,
supposed
I
to
don't
do.
know about
on,
that,
bro.
but I want you to extend your life though. Great job.
Man, thank you.
And I've been cooking a lot. I've been finding a lot of joy in cooking.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mhm.
I need to cook more often because I don't cook enough, but I do enjoy cooking whenever.
I get my
I feel
recipes
So
on YouTube.
Oh, there you go.
so Andrea, what's your 10-year plan? Because everybody has a plan when it comes to, they want this at a particular time in their life, and obviously it doesn't go that way. But you've been doing so much for so long, and you work for free. You did the freelancing, so now that you're still young, you're still energetic. What is your 10-year plan, and what do you see your brand going for the next 10 to 20 years?
I mean, like I said, I really plan on diversifying my businesses. I think Throne Media is going to be the basis for a lot of things that I do to service people and help people. I do work with entrepreneurs one-on-one. If people want to work one-on-one with me, I definitely have a program. So that's a different, that's diversifying what I'm doing. I want to write a book. That's in the works. We'll see what happens with that. And that, I'm giving myself 5 years to do that. I want to get a little older, a little bit more experience, a little bit more knowledge to drop. But I really want to be able to open more businesses, And I just really want to focus on my entrepreneurial journey. And that's really different for me. I never thought I would be a business owner. I always thought in my mind, I was a creative, I was a producer, I was a reporter. But when I really was able to tie it all together, I was like, I'm a businesswoman. And when I really started to embrace that, I started to continue my education and just really figure out what that looked like. I would love to go on a book tour and continue to teach at universities and lecture, but just to really be that go-to person in the world of media, broadcasting and leadership. That's really where I want to be able to focus my efforts. And I mean, it can take a lot of different turns, and I'm going to still do a lot of television work, but that's only going to be if it makes sense with my brand and if I can produce it. And I mean, if I can produce a lot of television content, that would be great. And I think that's where a lot of things that I'm doing, that's the direction it's going. Just keep on building that, that body of work. But now it's on a different level. Now I can pick and choose my projects and really pick and choose the people that I work with. And that's a lot of freedom. And I think right now it's freedom in that. For me to be able to just, when you own a business, you work a lot more, but at the same time, maybe you can work at the beach with the laptop on your lap, right?
Yeah,
Huge, right? Because when I work with the WWE and the Panthers and all these sports teams, I didn't go home for Christmas. I didn't spend time with loved ones. And the fact that my quality of life was not where I wanted it to be able to have that freedom and just to be able to spend time with my family, that's where I want to be, because I didn't have it for like 10 plus years. Right. So,
and speaking of family, because I didn't mean to cut you off, because realistically, because being in Miami, what I'm saying, and I'm asking for our male audience, because a woman like you, who is a boss, that works a lot, that has her own business, how do you find time to create your own family and also spend time with your family?
Well, that's really one of the reasons why I also wanted to have my own business. There's just a lot of sacrifice. Obviously, when you work for these teams, I felt like I've been there, I've done that. And I wanted to give my personal life a chance, right? And I'm like, now it's my turn. Now I want, if a family's around the corner, let me give my life that opportunity. Now it's time to enjoy life, right? So I think you need to have the consciousness of knowing that money and success is not where it's at. Obviously, and we all measure success and money and happiness very differently.
Yeah.
Right? But for me, I want to feel complete and full, and that's being with the people that I love, and to find a healthy relationship, and just to have these moments with my family. I haven't been able to hug my parents in the longest time. Can you imagine now that's what that's where I want to be. Just the freedom of growing my family, if that's around the corner, and just giving me the opportunity, and just working from the beach and just being with my loved ones, because I didn't for like 15 years. For 15 years.
Yeah, you got to find a balance.
And
wow, 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
the grind. That is the grind of this business. But now that's, for me, I'm making it a little bit more simpler. And that is my 10 to 15 year plan. And, you know, my business will always be super important. I mean, I'm incredibly ambitious. I mean, you guys are creatives. You guys know that this is addicting, and I want to bring the industry until like I'm 100 years old. I will always find a way, right? I will be old and wrinkly behind a camera telling everybody what to do. I see myself, but on my terms and just having the people that I love around me.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm going down with my microphone. That's all I'm saying. You know, that last day, I'm going just.
They gotta snatch out your old claw hands, huh? Snatch out
I'm going down with my microphone. I can.
Tell you, man.
Oh man. Well, Andrea, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, guys. I can talk people's ears off, so I appreciate the, you know.
No, we Edwin would love that. You and Edwin can go for like 2 hours, I bet you. Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Forget time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Before I had one last question. It's just my connection sucks today. I apologize. It'd be a lot better. But okay, so wait, I want to know, you rank. You've worked with the Panthers. We've covered the Panthers. You've done stuff for the Dolphins. We've done stuff for the Dolphins. We have our relationships and everything. But which one did you like? Now that you're not doing those things, which one do you miss the most? Like, is it the WWE? Is it working with the Panthers?
You know, I would say, now that I can look back at everything, I would say working with the Panthers.
All right.
Yeah.
You appreciated that the most, yeah.
Yeah, that's really where I found my groove, and that's it was an amazing team to be a part of. They set me up for success. We worked. I mean, I was not successful without my crew. You know what I mean? And everybody helped me along the way. So that's the one thing. If I work with people, it's like I never did this alone. I did this with a whole team behind me to help me, you know, just carve out what I'm doing. And I love that camaraderie. I mean, that's why we were in, you know, what we do, right? Like this collective energy that we have going. And with the Panthers, I was really able to build a family there. And that's why I was successful in what I did. And that's why I miss it.
Nice. Plus, hockey's a lot of fun.
Oh, man, that was so much fun. Yeah, it was.
Like I tell Edwin all the time, covering hockey is probably the most fun that I have out of all the teams that we cover. And we cover Dolphins, we cover college football, college basketball, college baseball, we cover Marlins. And hockey, for me, it's the most fun. Yeah,
well, honestly, that's the team I miss the most.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I mean, the best part is there's no sun bearing down on you. So
I know, right? I always have great hair. My makeup was always on point. And I miss those days. Right?
Oh, yeah, man. I don't miss the sun on those days, you know. So it's always nice. Hopefully, we'll be back there soon.
Hopefully, I hope so.
Yep. All right, well, everybody, Lemonheads, make sure to follow us on all social media channels at Lemon City Live. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the little bell on the bottom for future notifications. And once again, we're brought to you by Magic City Casino Highlight. Shout out to them. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Any last words?
And also, quick shout out. Our Magic City Highlight will start back most likely May 1st. So if you're watching, make sure you tune in our YouTube page and look at us on streaming live. You can place your bets, and hopefully you bet on me, and I can win you some money.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we head out?
Well, you guys, I'm pretty impressed with everything that you're doing. Obviously, in the world of marketing and branding, you guys, I salute you, because obviously my eye for that was always on. And you guys have a really great show, and obviously you guys can do anything with this. And I am thankful for being a part of it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Oh, tell people where to follow you and stuff like that. Plug
yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely follow me on Instagram. It's official Andrea Ocampo TV. And then from there, it'll take you through the rabbit hole to follow me on Facebook, Snapchat, everything else that's out there. I started a TikTok, but I don't think I can do it, guys. I don't think I can. I felt stupid.
It's all we started a TikTok too. So fans out there, go and check out our TikTok at Lemon City Live.
I don't have anything on there, but I'll follow you guys.
The Chinese government is watching it. Don't do it.
That's going on TikTok today. Oh my God. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. The podcast will be up tomorrow morning. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, everywhere you get your podcast, and also lemoncitylive.com. Go ahead and check us out on lemoncitylive.com. All right. All right, Andrea, thank you once again.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody, episode 192. We'll see you next time.
We out of here.
Awesome.